Someone asked me the other day my thoughts on the documentary film Sicko. I said, see it. As Michael Moore said in a recent interview in the AARP Bulletin, it's not so much about health as about the way Americans treat each other. Everywhere you look today, you see a society longing for peace, contentment, and security instead of our current reality filled with chaos and uncertainty. Yet the way we've structured up our institutions and social services, from health to education to transportation, we see in the planning, the execution, the financing, heavy emphasis on decentralization and disintegration. Is it any wonder then that we feel overwhelmed by complexity and out of control? For as much as we would like to believe in total individual autonomy and the ability to segregate one part of our lives or one part of our economy from another, clearly this is not realistic. Take, for example, the much publicized downturn in the U.S. housing market. It was brought on by the overselling of subprime home mortgages to poorly qualified candidates, by overzealous salespeople from Countrywide Financial and others. Dog eat dog. They were spurred on by extra financial bonuses tied to these predatory loans. One would think the damage could be contained to those directly involved in the loans themselves, or at least to home builders and their suppliers. But in a modern, global, free market economy, everything ties to everything else. Take the case of Florida, now projecting a $1.5 billion shortfall in its 2008 budget. The housing slump in that state has caused a decline in revenue from real estate transaction taxes, which are based on the number of homes sold and their sale prices. These dollars collectively account for a small percentage of the state's revenues. But in addition, sales tax revenues, which account for 15 to 20% of the total state revenues, have taken a dive as well. Why? Well, part is related to the declines in the purchasing of building supplies, but studies also show that homeowners struggling with their mortgages are less inclined to splurge on big-ticket items like cars and furnishings and vacation travel. This kind of cycle is not brand new. In the recession that occurred in 2002, post 9/11, 37 states faced a collective $13 billion shortfall in budget projections. In these cycles, high points are followed by low points. For example, over half of the states in the U.S. recorded higher than expected revenues in 2006 and early 2007. Based on that, increased services, especially in healthcare, were funded within their 2008 budgets. These commitments now appear difficult to honor, especially if the financial pressures on citizens force a further decline in property tax assessments. Experts like economist Gerald Prant of the Nonpartisan Tax Foundation predict a decline this year and next. That's why states like Florida, with a $71 billion budget projected for 2008, are busy cutting 4% in mostly social services right now. It's a free-for-all. Every state for itself, every region for itself, every community for itself, every family for itself, and every person for him or herself. We resist rational, national, and regional planning. We think short-term rather than long-term, and we have difficulty incorporating learnings from prior experiences or failings. This lack of organization and security, well illustrated by the healthcare system that lacks portability and universal access, causes us to overreact and seek control in other ways in our daily lives. Our desire to reassert control over our lives, to achieve balance and harmony, is evident everywhere. But in no place is it more obvious than in the growing obsession to organize closets, kitchens, and garages, if not healthcare. Consider the fact that we now have a National Association of Professional Organizers, with 4,000 members, up from 2,000 just 2 years ago. These organizers command anywhere from $50 to $200 an hour to come into your home and straighten out your life. Barry Isaac, the head of the organization, sums up American citizens this way, quotes, "They have psychological issues that are impairing their ability to make a decision. People are struggling with everything. Their to-do lists are growing longer and longer, and people are not crossing things off quickly," close quotes. In 2006, Americans purchased some $7 billion worth of products to organize their homes, including over $2 billion in closets alone. What's driving them? Well, you can get some insight from reading vendor California Closet's credo. It says they, quotes, believe our customers are to be afforded the greatest dignity and honor when exploring and discovering what it is that will bring a sense of harmony and order to their lives. Close quotes. Harmony and order? How about universal health care that isn't tied to your job and is accessible to all regardless of medical condition? How about spending time to really nurture children 0 to 5? How about supporting third-generation women struggling to care for ill grandparents and parents while serving children and grandchildren? Moore's Sicko captured the voice of Americans worried about a healthcare system that's non-portable, highly variable, scary, discriminatory, and disintegrated. A system capable of throwing you with a little bad luck into medical bankruptcy. But make no mistake about it, Moore's criticism cuts deepest at the core of American values and a society fundamentally out of balance. As he says, we're all about me, not we. For Health Commentary, I'm Mike McGee.